Welcome to your reading. First of all, I want to give Shani a shout out for reminding me that I did not do your bonus reading, which is very strange. I'm like, what? And then I looked, I keep records, and I looked, and I'm like, I didn't do Capricorn. So today we're going to do your reading. I don't think, I think it's just meant to be. So today we're doing your reading. Today is a Saturday. The Steelers, I have my jersey on. The Steelers play tonight. Football's back in the air. I don't know. People from all over the world are here. Welcome. By the way, this is going to be for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You could have a mixture. I'm laughing just because, the person I'm with has a double Earth, Sun and Moon, and well, I mean, he's fine now, but I can imagine back in his younger days, we weren't together. I have a feeling he had a lot of lessons to open up emotionally. So anyways, welcome, guys. I apologize that somehow I skipped you, but somehow I feel like it's meant to be that I do it today, so let's get into it. We're going to use 3 different decks. We're going to use our Mother Mary Oracle for our words of wisdom. We're going to use the Crystal Vision for our clarifiers, or to go a level deeper. And I'm going to start your reading with the, well, I'm going to start the reading with the Mother Mary Oracle, but this is going to be the Tarot portion. This will be your main spread through the Tarot of Dreams. Alright, let's give Mother Mary a couple shuffles. I've been seeing so many synchronicities, I have to say, with the readings, with the signs this month. More than normal, really. It really stood out to me. I'm not going to tell you what they are, because I want to see what comes out here. And if it is something that's come out elsewhere, I'll let you know. Alright, let's begin. Let's give it a shuffle. Wow. Alright, we have God flipped itself over in the deck. Doesn't happen very often with the Mother Mary. Most like this is the one you choose, Sandy. God. I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. I step out of the way and I surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. Okay? And then we have, wow, forgiveness coming from the Most High, right? Connected to God. Forgiveness. So what I mean by that is I feel like we shouldn't just shrug our shoulders like, yeah, forgiveness, yeah. It is stored energy that, when you don't forgive, it doesn't mean, again, you're endorsing the action. It just means I'm forgiving, and it doesn't even mean I'm staying. I forgive you, but I'm leaving. You know what I mean? I do forgive you, but I cannot, this isn't for me. I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from. It's like someone's conversation. So forgiveness. I am willing to release old resentments so that I may enjoy my life. I am willing to release old resentments so that I may enjoy my life. Like drinking poison thinking another's going to die. Anyone who dies is you. So, God, forgiveness. Okay, let's get into the Tarot portion. It feels serious. Well, I don't know if serious is the right word. Right, let's give him a cut. Everything is already pre-shuffled, by the way. Okay. I am going to just let your story unfold, and then we'll bring in the crystal vision. But I feel like these right here wanted to be first. So let's see what they are. Let's bring the lid down a little bit. We have the wheel. We have the wheel. We have the Five of Swords. I have a feeling this is where that forgiveness is coming in. You know, the wheel talks about movement, your destiny. You know, sometimes you're high, sometimes you're low. When you're low, you just got to realize sometimes, you know, it's got to take my fight to get me back to the top, along with God's help, along with your guides, right? But it also takes your action at the same time. And I'm saying that because the Five of Swords talks about the toxicity that's around you. And listen, this can even be in one's thought system, right? This could be, first of all, I feel like there must have been toxic energy around you. 5 does speak of change, by the way, and change gracefully. Like the more graceful we can be during this change, the more we benefit, so to speak. So the Five of Swords talks about energy that's just not meshing with yours. It can speak of pain, no doubt. It can speak of like harsh communication. Though I have to say, connected to the wheel, it's almost like telling me, well, there's a lesson in there for you. There's a lesson, maybe a valuable lesson. Maybe it is the forgiveness, and then I often feel in the Five of Swords, ultimately leaving that energy. Well, let's see. We have the Palace of Swords. Dang, swords. We have the Eight of Swords. Something's got you wrapped up in confusion. You know, the Eight of Swords says that I'm trying to protect myself from something, right? I'm creating, you know, it's interesting because these Five Swords, this can talk about like my family, you know, my childhood. The people in it and how they spoke to each other, that type of thing. And from that, creating these walls so it won't happen again, right? Like, you know, like it didn't feel right. It wasn't right. You know, but still I feel like whatever it was, forgiveness must be the answer that gets everything moving. I kind of feel like forgiveness and then movement. You know, 8, the Eight of Swords, 8 is about a new beginning, 5 is about change. I feel like, you know, the wheel being your first card is stronger than all these swords. So even though all these swords exist and 2 of them not so great, right? Not so great. I feel like the Palace of Swords is talking about like an atmosphere that I'm in where like I am putting up these walls. You know, these walls aren't serving me. These are walls of protection. Listen, if it's, you know, if it's due to someone who's toxic and they're not going to change, it's not about putting those walls down and allowing them back in. No, it's putting the walls down so that you can allow, you know, what divine wants to let in. But the forgiveness seems to be the weight. It's almost like that's what the Eight of Swords is. You know, Eight of Swords is a self-created prison. Self-created. Even if you have reason, right? It's like she's hiding away from the world. Like, I don't want the world to see who I really am, right? She's naked, but she's turned away from us. Like, I don't want the world to see who I am, because there's self-doubt in that. You know, it's funny is she's beautiful and spiritual and everything, but she doesn't feel that, right? She feels quite the opposite. Like, I'm hiding away from the world. We have justice. Wow. How could we not read this as a potential divorce or a cutting of ties? Listen, whether this has already happened and like you're moving into this energy, this is showing you that, you know, whatever you cut ties to, it was not serving you. You know, this can talk about a marriage, of course. You know, like a divorce. But it is about cutting of ties, you know. Justice is about fairness and balance. There's nothing here that talks about fairness or balance. Quite the opposite. Well, there's your card, Capricorn. Interesting, because you're coming under that 5 of Swords, so I feel like it's your thoughts. It's your thoughts. You know, if we just look at the card, it's like there's this person in a cage, right? Feeling caged in. Well, feeling caged in because I caged myself in. That's what the 8 of Swords is. Or it's the illusion. It's the illusion that you know, it's that illusion. Maybe it's the illusion that 5 of Swords has to stay where the door is wide open. I feel like this is your thoughts. You might have been questioning, I don't know, let's keep going. We have the Chariot. Card of Cancer. Major Arcana. And then look at this, we have the Palace of Wands. Interesting. Well, that's the house of desire and passion. And why am I so afraid of it? That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm afraid of that energy. You know, living within my own desires, creations, Palace of Wands, very inspired. But the 8 of Swords above that, it's almost like I'm blocking that. I know why. It's relating back to this previous Swords. It may be relating back, you know, maybe I was married. And maybe, you know, maybe there was love. But it's not the way it ended. You know, whatever this is, whatever this cutting of ties is, listen, it may not have gone the way that I had hoped it would go. Maybe quite the opposite. Because I feel like between the Palace of Swords and the Palace of Wands, for you, you'd much rather be in the Palace of Wands. And I know that because the Chariot's right next to it. Up here, the Palace of Swords has 2 very mental type energies in it. The 5 of Swords and the 8 of Swords. It's almost like someone influencing me that I can't do better when I can do better. I feel like if you went through a divorce and, you know, you're beating yourself up about it. But listen, I almost feel like, how could you not have? How could it really have been serving you? You know, I feel like sometimes like people even stay together for the kids. It just reminds me of a quick story. You know, when I was younger, and I have to say, you know, the way I felt then and the way I felt later was different. But my mother and father divorced when I was 13, and it was devastating because I was so close to my father. Very close to my father and not so close to my mother. And I begged my father to take me with him, and he's like, I can't. So, not that my mother was abusive or anything like that, but why am I saying that? Oh, and then I remember him coming years later and saying to me, you know what hurts me the most is I should have stayed with you kids. And I remember saying to him now as an adult, you did the right thing, because they would fight so, like, I mean, cats and dogs, and us kids would sit on the steps and listen, right? And we know, like when we get into those kind of arguments, like the things that'll come out that maybe that are, you know, maybe I don't really feel, but I'm in that anger, right? So I remember saying to my dad, you did the right thing. As much as it hurt, it was the right thing because, you know, sometimes we do it like for our children and don't realize that, listen, what do your children want for you? Your children want you to be happy. I feel like they'll adjust. All right, anyways, we have the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom. This could be you. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Let's bring the crystal vision in. Let's get right into this. Give it a couple shuffles. You know, I feel like the Chariot is your movement, or was your movement, out of that Palace of Swords and moving you into the Palace of Wands. Palace of Wands is anchored by the Justice card, mirrored by the Justice card. So ultimately, justice is about fairness, wholeness, but it is about cutting ties. We have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups right over the wheel. Can be Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. So this Queen, if it not be you, is someone who sits on your wheel. And we had a card fly. Let's get it. Well, hello, Two of Cups. So, you know, this is soulmate energy. Interesting. You know, I'm saying interesting because this Queen is looking back, like back, right? But this Queen feels like is what is now, or what wants to be, right? It's right on the wheel, and it's a soulmate. Now, does it have to be love? It doesn't have to be love. But listen, it is about two people who get each other, if nothing else. It feels the opposite of this Five of Swords. So you go to soulmate on that wheel. Again, whether love. We have the Seven of Cups, but there's some confusion wrapped around it. Should I do it? I've done it before and didn't work out. Right? I'll say yes to it and then something bad will happen. Just the way it's always been. 7. You know, first of all, 7 is about your spirituality. You know, spiritual completeness. Coming to it. And that doesn't mean, again, perfection. It just means you're following like your spiritual clues, your spiritual energy. Or at least maybe that's what you should be doing if you find yourself in this energy. Because this, again, is like trying to pick a cup, but all I'm thinking about is like the cups that I've chosen of the past. They didn't work out. Well, okay. Where's your energy right now? Right? Where is your energy? Can you, it really depends on where your energy is at. We have the Hierophant Cartitarus. This is about your belief system. By the way, it's another 5. But this is about your belief system. This is about trust. Remember, right in the beginning, God came out. I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. That's what the Hierophant is. And then we have Judgment. Wow. My friend, that is a call to attention. That is a call to the present moment. You know, it's like shaking you, saying, this 8 of Swords has got to go. Like, you know, where you're going, you don't need this, right? You don't need this protection. You don't need these walls. And these walls are actually holding more back than protecting you. Spiritual team says, I need you in the present moment. I need you to trust. There's something happening here. It's interesting how light the cards feel here and how dark the cards feel below them, right? There's a lot of swords. And then all of a sudden we move into love and spirituality and my faith and my belief and your spiritual team, right? But right in the middle of it is the Seven of Cups. I'm the one who has to make the ultimate decision. All right. We have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands coming over justice. This talks about a lot of ego. Five of Wands is ego. Interesting. You know, I don't know whether to tie it back to that Five of Swords. But, you know, what I do want to say is it is ego. It does need to change. You know, it's about the people in this energy. Listen, maybe I don't mean to be in that energy, but it's very easy to take on other people's energy. We have to be mindful of that, right? Because here, it's like, you know, like, I want to be king of the hill. No, I want to be king, you know. Well, we can't all be that. You know, all of a sudden I'm thinking like the Queen and King of Pentacles, right? The King of Pentacles has an eye for the big picture. The Queen of Pentacles, she's about the details, right? The things that other people miss. So together, they work as a whole. Not that you can't be alone. Anyway. So, you know, it's almost like the ego body, letting go of the ego body, maybe. Look at this. We have the Ten of Swords. Huh. Coming right over you. First of all, with the 5 now going to the 10, I want to say to you, this is the energy, first of all, how do I say this? Because I feel like this Two of Cups, right? It's soulmate energy, and it's coming like in the light, right? With the Hierophant and your spiritual team, and I got God over here, right? But it's coming over this 5 of Swords, then boom, goes into the 10. It can be a repeat, like a repeat pattern. But I have to say, I feel like the repeat pattern might be within myself, might be within my thought system. Might be within the things that I tell myself. You know, just because I tell myself them doesn't make them true. Right? I got to be a person of, I don't know. Like, I can tell you I have great character, but if you don't see it from me, then just words. But I do see the repeat, right? And I feel like that's why the Seven of Cups is here, because I don't want to repeat of what I've been in. I feel like, you know, I don't feel like you need to. But I do feel like there needs to be awareness first. You know, it's weird because I feel like, Capricorn, I feel like it's more about your awareness of yourself. Now listen, I know it's based on, you know, bullshit in our lives. I know that. But nonetheless, it's showing you, like, you know, if I don't break this pattern, if I don't cut that tie, you know, then I find myself in a repeat pattern. But I feel like the repeat, again, can come from my childhood that, you know, became part of my young adult. Now it's part of my middle adult. You know what I mean? It just becomes part of me. Maybe I want love, but I want it at the highest form. That's what I'm talking about. How can I have it at the highest form if I keep myself, like in the Eight of Swords, let's just say, I keep that wall of protection around me? Well, You're that wall. Love can't penetrate it. You got to put the wall down. And I'm saying that because, again, it's like, I don't want a repeat of the past, right? But I feel like who has more, how do I say this? Power, let's say, to, listen, let me put it this way. The wheel's here, right? This is your destiny. This is movement. Movement. We know there's movement because the chariot is also here. With that movement comes very beautiful light type energy. Again, the Queen of Cups, and then the Two of Cups, right? Soulmate type of energy. But it is met by a wall. It's met by a wall, but it doesn't need to be there. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Because the reason the wall there, it has to do with the past, not your present, right? Or at least it doesn't have to be. Now, if I don't have that awareness, do I then just repeat my past? Right? And that's giving my power away to those who, listen, maybe I just need to forgive and move on from. Okay. It's funny, we go 5, 10, 5, 10. The Magician. Look at that. The Manifester. You know, this is the Fool's, one of the Fool's greatest teachers. Because you're the Fool in the Tarot, right? Because this does feel like something new. Like the wheel's like, okay, something new wants to open up. But this wall, it's like, you know, it's like one of these swords are stuck in the wheel. And until I pull that sword, the wheel won't move. So I do. I love that this is coming, first of all, under the Hierophant. And then over the Magician. I feel like the energy of the past needs to stay in the past somehow, some way. And I need to think about today and what am I going to create from this moment forward. You know, the Chariot is like unlimited type energy. But you know why? It's because you found balance. You found it's almost like when those swords, you know, like I pull the sword out of the wheel, it's like the Chariot then moves, right? And you're the one who is controlling that Chariot. Where am I taking it? I feel like, well, you're taking it to the Palace of Wands. House of inspiration, house of passion, desire. Two Pentacles, interesting. Well, you know, I don't mind that because this is using more of a logical mind, which I feel like is exactly what you would want to do, right? Is this something that will expand my world or is this something that will deflate my world? You know, let's say it speaks of love with this Two of Cups, right? Is this someone who can truly love me? Or is this, you know, I hate to say it like this because some of you, you're not going to be able to answer it yet. Or is this like the, you know, like everyone before? I feel like the answer is just no. How could it be? Anyway. I want to look a little bit more at this Two of Pentacles because I'm wondering the Three of Pentacles. Well, I was wondering what it is you're questioning. I think part of it is about this soulmate energy. After living a life of a lot of swords, this feels light, right? But the ball was in your court. It's interesting because she's looking back, the Seven, you know, where I'm trying to make a decision about something. She is looking at the Hierophant, which is your faith, God, forgiveness, and then Judgment, which is your spiritual team, the present moment. This is where your miracles happen, right? But it's coming right over this wall. So this wall, again, until it comes down, it's almost like, I don't know. How do I know it won't be like the last time? Well, it will be if the wall doesn't come down. I feel like there's where that repeat pattern could be. Like if I don't bring that wall down, that could just be even in my communication, right? The 8 is about a new beginning, like allowing oneself to have a new beginning. Judgment is about a rebirth. And then the 3 of Pentacles. I kind of like that because number 1, I feel like, of course, I feel like this kind of relates back to the soulmate type energy, because I feel like, of course, they're going to get you. Like, I do feel like this is saying, this is energy. I feel like this is great collaboration, by the way. 2 to the 3. It's in the palace. So I do feel like it's energy of creating, like, out of the home. I'm just wondering, like, has it begun yet? Here's the Magician. You know, I feel like the Magician, it's funny because all of a sudden I just realized that my daughter and her friend, who is a Capricorn, and she is a Scorpio, have or are starting a, I don't know what you call it, like a blog or it's a channel where they're just, like, being open and talking about everything, and you can write in, and that's kind of what I feel right here. Like, you know, creating something out of the home and the foundation of it. But yet I feel like, why am I questioning it? I am questioning it. Okay, I'm not going to leave it right there. I'm just going to go right across the top. And let's see if we can tie it all together. Not that it's not already. Well, that's weird how they just kind of flipped out of my hands. Alright, we have the Queen of Swords. We have the Empress. We have the Strength card. And then we have the Knight of Cups. Well, first of all, can I say that I feel like this Knight of Cups is someone if it's not you, because I feel like this is someone who also had to deal, you know, this could talk about unexpected love. I mean, it does speak of unexpected love. But it has to go through the Strength card. And it's almost like, you know, here's 2 queens, right? One's the Empress. The Empress is, wow. It's like, here's 2 queens and choosing, right? But the Empress, that's interesting. I feel like the Empress, you know, I think my daughter as the Empress, to be honest. Like, I think about, like, the wisdom she does. I don't know. I don't even think she realizes she has the wisdom that she does. She's trying to trust that more. But the Empress is about, you know, I mean, I'm the Empress. This is someone who has walked the path of the other queens, and can rise above it, right? Like, you know, the Empress is loving and nurturing and creative, but at the same time she's very strong. I often say I'm nobody's fool, right? Nobody's fool. The Strength card there, card of Leo, and an 8, right? New beginning. This Knight, right? This unexpected love feels like, you know, it must travel through the energy of the Strength card. And first of all, you know, what does that mean? It means, well, I got to tame the beast within me. But then you have the Hierophant above that, which is your belief system, right? Did I get off track? I got to get back on track. I don't know why I feel like this is you, but I do. I feel like this is you, and no matter who it is, and I should clarify, no matter who it is, it's like, you know, again, it's like unexpected love, but it has to travel through the Strength energy. you know, it's balanced. It's where I don't allow my lower temptations to control my future. Alright, well there's the Fool. So, brand new. The Five of Cups and the Page of Cups. So we know the Fool and the Five of Cups don't go together. They just don't. The Fool is free and clear. The Fool just carries his knapsack. And that is the tools that I've learned along the way. That's my collective wisdom now. And that's all I need. The Fool takes a chance. Doesn't hold him or herself back. And then you have the Five of Cups. So I feel like what it's talking about, it's almost when you allow yourself to be this Fool's energy, free and clear, completely yourself. And again, if it's connected to a soulmate, that's exactly what you are. You're being yourself, right? There's no need for any masks, because you can be who you are. You can be who you are. And in the Five of Cups, it speaks of all that I've lost, right? And sometimes that's where I keep my focus. But the Five of Cups really speaks of two cups that have yet to be discovered. Well, here they are. And they're right on top of your wheel. The Two of Cups. Here they are. Sitting right on top of your wheel. I feel like this has nothing to do with the past and everything to do with your present and your future. And then you have the Page of Cups. You know, first of all, the Page of Cups, you know, it can be news. You know, it can be that feeling of love stirring within me. It can be, you know, because it does feel like, you know, I have to say, it does feel like some type of love beginning, but there's a lot of questioning it at the same time. And it's just saying, you know, your faith here is everything. It's everything, and breaking old patterns, breaking old lower temptations, that type of thing. Capricorn, I think you always got to find that, you know, find that check, that balance within yourself. You know, like every 50 year of a cycle, you've got to stop and ask yourself, right? Anyway, Page of Cups. You know, it's loving oneself. It's learning to love oneself. And I don't mean that in any way do I mean that in an egotistical way. I mean, it's like, you know, even loving my flaws. It's like I no longer hold regret. You know, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. I now understand, like, everything taught me something, or I taught them, or I taught it. But I've been learning and expanding, and I feel like now you're being called to expand even more. And I feel like, you know, the ball's in your court, what you're going to do here. I feel like there's nothing of the past that lies of importance, that has importance. I feel like, you know, this is a time when you really want to question your thought system. You know what I mean? I also feel like this is a time when you got to, like, listen, I don't know. I just feel like, it's funny because I feel like I spent a lot of time in the Swords energy, right? But now all of a sudden I'm in the Cups energy, and it's different for me. It feels different. It is different. And I feel like it's giving the opportunity of a higher lesson. Interesting how it's like this apple is falling, you know, it's like this arrow is pointing right at the Empress's head. If I have any questions, you know, because you do, 5 find the Empress energy within you. And that's how you base your decisions. I feel like if this is two people, the arrow is pointing right down at this Empress. I don't know why I've never seen that arrow before. It's an epiphany. It's a trust. Alright, do I want to take anything else? Let's just see what came out. We have the Four Swords, healing. We have the King of Swords. Look at this. We have the Ace of Swords. And then we have the Four of Swords. Wow. You know what this feels like to me? It's like I'm taking all that I have learned. This feels like a long period of time I've been within the swords type of energy, which feels very mental to me, like almost like a mental exhaustion, right? But the Four Swords is that healing period, right? It's giving myself that time to heal. In no way means I should stop moving forward. The Four Swords talks about, the pain of the past, but also it's about the sword, your sword that you lie on, right? That's our own awareness, it's our own self. And then here's this King of Swords. The king is usually the master of communication. And then this Ace of Pentacles, it feels like a blessing that's coming into your physical world. It feels like it's coming to your home. Like it's showing up at your home, or it may be something you're doing out of the home. Here's Judgment right above it. There's a Hierophant right above this Ace. There's something happening here. There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. Alright. I think I'm going to let that be, because I could go on and on and on. I feel like more than anything, the ball is in your court. The wheel has shown up, or it's showing up, and now what do you want? I feel like there's opportunity to grow, definitely financially, but I also feel love. But I can tell you this, these swords, they have no place in today's energy. So I need to forgive, let go, because today is about new and all that you're creating. Again, don't forget the Magician is underneath here somewhere. Well, here's the Fool. Wow. Okay. I think I'm going to read Forgiveness. I feel like God would rather me read Forgiveness. Okay. This feels like the most important part. Out with the old and in with the new is the message contained within this card. If you're feeling like you're stuck in a reoccurring bad dream, the culprit is likely contained within stored unforgiveness. Throughout life, everyone has endured painful experiences. You're not alone. However, you do have a choice as to whether to continue suffering from the after effects of those experiences. Forgiveness is the purifying, detoxifying agent that allows you to move forward in a whole new way. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you're endorsing the negative behavior. It simply means you're unwilling to store the toxic burden of anger within you, and good for you for making this life-changing decision. After all, your anger only hurts you, not the offending person. So call upon Mother Mary for help in releasing old emotional burdens. Dear Mother Mary, thank you for putting your healing hands upon my heart and mind to draw out the darkness of my judgments, blame, and anger towards others. Please help me blood mother, to see myself and all others as you do, and be purified in my perceptions. Wow. Wow. Amen. I'm leaving it right there. I love you guys. Sorry I missed you, on the rotation, but boy, do I feel like you're meant to have the reading right now, today. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye-bye.